Countdown. Know when we go in.
Hey everybody, it is Daniel here for Mobile Syrup, and this is Telus's Samsung Galaxy S2, also known as the Hercules, going on sale soon as the Samsung Galaxy S2 X. Quite a mouthful, but this is a little bit of a different beast to the one that was released on Bell earlier this year, so let's take a look at it quickly. First, you'll see that it's a little bit more rounded than the original one, which is squared off. This resembles more the original Galaxy S9000, but it has a few more things inside that differentiate it. So, first thing is, while it does maintain the Super AMOLED display, the Super AMOLED Plus display with its perfect blacks and excellent battery life, it's actually a little bit bigger. So it's 4.5 inches as opposed to 4.3. Same resolution, 480 by 800, and everything does look great. Whites are extremely white. As with the Galaxy S2, brightness is not as high as it is on Super LCD displays, but it doesn't really need to be due to the fact that the brightness, there's no backlight. The pixels themselves generate the light, so it looks clearer and there's no reflection between the LCD and the glass. So that's one of the bigger advantages of the Super AMOLED Plus display. In addition to the change in the screen size, the back of the device has also been updated. So we'll take you around there. I'll show you that in just a second. On the left-hand side of the device, you see this nice volume rocker. Everything is plastic, but it feels nicer than the original Galaxy S2. It's got a higher quality plastic, and it's also a little bit thicker. So Samsung's not really worried about being the thinnest phone on the market anymore. They just wanted to come out with a really business-friendly, attractive device that is a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker, but also a lot more sturdy. So in doing that, they've come out with this beautiful leather-like backing, but it's not leather, it's plastic. What the major difference is that while it is textured, the texture is a lot smoother. So it doesn't feel as coarse in your hand, but it does maintain that grippish kind of feel that the original did. The actual kind of texture that makes that feel is much more compact. So the repeated pattern is smaller, and as a result, it looks more attractive, it looks more professional, and as well, there's this hump here that while on the Galaxy S2 was a little bit more pronounced, this is very, very, it's subtle, and it really does look beautiful. So all in all, this is a much more attractive device than the Galaxy S2, unless you're looking for, you know, the thinnest. So going along the rest of the device, the bottom has a microphone and a micro USB port. The right of the device is alone in the power button, and combining the home button and power button, you can actually take a photo. On the back of the device is an 8 megapixel camera with an LED flash, and this supports 1080p video. On the top of the device, we have a noise cancelling microphone and a 3.5mm headphone jack. You also have a 2 megapixel front facing camera. So everything so far is identical except for the screen size, but the resolution is the same. Opening it up, ta-da, you see Telus SIM card. You also see a battery, but this is an 1850 milliamp hour battery, and that is bigger than the 1650 milliamp hour battery on the Galaxy S2. What does that mean? It means that you're likely going to get a bit more juice. The difference internally is that this is running a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core processor as opposed to a 1.2 gigahertz. However, this is not the Exynos processor that is in the Galaxy S2. This is actually a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8660 processor, which supports 42 megabits download speeds in the downlink, and that's to make up the dual channel speeds that Telus is advertising. But as a result, they could not include this Exynos system on a chip, and benchmarks are going to be a little bit different as a result. So let's take a look at that. When we turn on the screen, you see that this is pretty much typical TouchWiz 4. It's very similar. It's almost actually identical to the one that was released earlier this year on the Galaxy S2. We have these 7 home screens customized. You also have this right side app drawer, which is horizontal. You can also pinch to zoom on that to change the order of things. You can edit your, once you get out of there, you can edit your screens. You can create folders. So if I wanted to create a folder, for example, I just drag it in there, I give it a name. I can then take this app and I can drag it right into the folder. Very dubiously iPhone-like, but it adds to the functionality. It definitely adds to the simplicity of the device, and because this is running a 1.5 dual-core processor, everything runs really, really smoothly. The only reason I have this set CPU, this is a router's, kind of a hacker's application, and the only reason I have it in here is so that I can show you what is running in here. So you can see in the board it says the MSM8660, and that's the Qualcomm chip that's running inside here, just to differentiate from the Exynos. But it is an ARM7 processor, and it's running at 1.5 gigahertz, as you can see. So that's pretty fantastic speeds. The other thing that I wanted to show you was the benchmark here. So if I run the Quadrant benchmark suite, which is pretty much what everybody uses to look up, to gauge the performance of their phone, you see that even though this is running a Qualcomm processor, very similar to the one in, say, the Sensation or the Evo 3D, it's of the same family. This is running a little bit faster. Those are running at 1.2 gigahertz. This is running at 1.5. But definitely feels much more smooth than the ones running on Sense. Samsung's overlay is a lot more simple. It doesn't have as much stuff running in the background, and as a result you're going to get excellent performance in the browser and in synthetic benchmarks such as this. So this is almost done, and we'll take a look at the result. See how fast that finished? You can see the result there, 2372. So again, this is not going to benchmark quite as high as that of the original Galaxy S2. You're looking at around a 20% lower speeds, even at the 1.5 gigahertz. But let's go into speed tests, because this will show you on Telus's 42 megabit HSPA Plus connection just how fast the performance really is. So we have 5 full bars there. I'm going to make sure this server was acting up for me. So I was using the Kitchener one earlier. It's 100 kilometers away from me. Let's go back to the speed test and begin. Now again, this is not a real life scenario. Obviously this is an ideal scenario. These oh wow, this is definitely not an ideal scenario. We'll do this one more time, because that ping time seems much too high. So we are getting upwards of 4 megabits a second in the down, and again, as this is not a real world scenario, this is ideal kind of scenario where the back end, the person that you're downloading from has an infinite amount of bandwidth, so to speak. So let's just redo it one more time, see if the ping time increases or decreases. Not really. A few minutes ago I was doing it at 32 milliseconds. So again, this is, we're getting excellent speeds. This is some of the fastest speeds on Telus I've ever seen. Oh, we just peaked at 5.3, and the upload speeds are similarly incredible. We have 3.8 megabits a second. So we'll do it one more time. Oh, there we go. Okay, 64 milliseconds. I just wanted to prove that I could get above or below 100 milliseconds there, because those two first ping times were ridiculous. Oh, and we just hit 6. Oh, can we get 7? Oh, we almost hit 7 megabits a second. That is the fastest HSPA Plus speed I've ever seen. Wow. Okay, so that's incredible. Let's go to the web. You see that this has some of the same features that the original Galaxy S2 has. You can tilt web pages, so let's go to Mobile Syrup, and we'll see if we can load up the full site. If not, we'll go to another site. Okay, so this one loads the mobile page. Let's see if this will load up the original. Okay, so here's the desktop version of Mobile Syrup, and as you can see, if I press 2 fingers on the screen, I can tilt like that to zoom in. Again, not a huge feature, certainly not going to be used by everybody, but scrolling is oh so smooth. Oh so smooth. And this is the video that that we put up yesterday. So this will show you the flash capabilities. Again, this runs on, this has Flash 10.3 support. Flash 11 is coming out soon. It's going to take advantage of some of the newer 3D features that these processors, these dual-core processors have. But for now, this will just show you how smooth this is.
Well, here it is. It's the
Oops.
1080p HD video.
Just loading there.
1080p HD videos. So we'll go more into...
So this is running, is going to load up a 720p version of this preview video.
We'll go more into detail of this device, give you a full review over the next few days.
Well, that's not exactly working the way that I wanted it to. But again, this is pre-release software, so we can't really vouch for it. I'm going to run a real-world benchmark. This is the SunSpider benchmark. And this tests JavaScript performance in the browser, but it also tests a number of other CPU capabilities. So it'll tell us how much faster this, or how much slower this is than the processor inside the Galaxy S2. While we're waiting for this to load, I just wanted to show you the difference between the Galaxy S2 and the Galaxy S2 X. Now they look pretty similar from the front. You can see the Galaxy S2 is a little bit squarer, and the button is obviously different on the bottom. So you have this dedicated home button and only a menu and a back button. There's no search button. But if you turn them around, you can see the difference in design. So clearly the Galaxy S2 X is a bigger phone. It's also a little bit thicker. You can see over there. Not too much, maybe about 10-15% bigger if we put them side by side. I don't want to exit out of this benchmark. So you can see there, the Galaxy S2 is a little bit thinner, about the same height, maybe a little bit less, but certainly wider, and definitely a little bit heavier. But feels really good in the hand. It feels much more comfortable than this one because even though it is quite thin, it's also square, and that makes it, like the iPhone 4, makes it a little bit more uncomfortable to hold in the hand. So, oh, we got the results here for the SunSpider test. Let's take a look. Fantastic results. 2632 milliseconds. That's one of the fastest results we've ever seen on the SunSpider. So, even though this is not running an Exynos processor, it is almost as fast in some respects and just as fast in others. So you won't be disappointed in terms of overall 3D performance and app performance on the Galaxy S2 X. So the other thing that we wanted to show you was, let's see if I can exit out of here, NFC support. So unlike the Galaxy S2, this supports the upcoming NFC protocol, which allows you to just tap at a mobile reader if you're at a store and they support NFC, and you have a credit card loaded in here. Google Wallet just launched, and you can load your credit cards in there. You will be able to, rather. You can tap it against a console at a fast food chain, at bookstores, places like that, and you can pay for your items from your phone. This is definitely going to take off, especially if the new iPhone comes out with NFC capabilities. You can see it more and more. The BlackBerry 9900 comes with NFC capabilities, and the Nexus S, obviously from Samsung as well, was one of the first major releases with NFC. So we'll see that taking off in the next few months, if not the next year. While we're in the menu here, you can see that this is preloaded with swipe and the Samsung keypad. For some reason, autocorrect is not enabled with the Samsung keypad. I'm not sure why. In terms of storage, this comes with 16 gigabytes of internal storage, and it supports 32 gigabyte micro SD cards. There are 11.25 gigabytes of USB storage and about 1.8 gigabytes of app storage there. As well, you can switch your applications to the SD card if you need to. So if anybody's worried that the GPS performance on this is as bad as the original Galaxy S, I can say that thankfully they have improved it. They've made it so that it's the same as all the other devices. You can see that you can toggle GPS there. I got a lock pretty quickly when I was driving to work, and I didn't have any issues with it keeping my location, which is what the big issue was with the Galaxy S1. The other thing is that I found the sound from this little speaker to be a lot better, a lot clearer than the sound on the original Galaxy S2, so that's a nice thing. I'm not sure if they changed the chip, but it's definitely an improvement. Maybe it's just a design improvement. Battery life has been better on this than the Galaxy S2, and that's obviously owed to the 200 milliamp hours of extra battery life, but certainly just overall they've done a really great job. This is running Android 2.3.5. We can't say whether this is a release version yet. There are a few bugs to work out, I believe. There's also very little Telus branding on here, so if you're worried about bloatware, there's basically nothing. The only thing that I found that was non-Google/Samsung related was this Groupon app, which was preloaded on here. Surprising why just this one app would be loaded, but it's actually not an obtrusive app at all, and this allows you to find daily deals in your area, so we actually really like that. In terms of the camera, this is the same 8.8 megapixel camera that's in the Galaxy S2. It's an excellent camera, one of the best on the market. Takes shots really quickly and also supports 1080p video. So we had no issues with that. There's also a photo editor that's preloaded on here, and let's see what we can do. So we can edit our shortcuts as well for our different features there. So the included applications by Samsung, there's a DLNA server there, or a client. Google Books is loaded from Google. That's, I think, one of the first devices that I've seen to preload Google Books. There's an IM application that I'm not a big fan of. Keys Air makes a server on the phone, and you connect to your computer over your wireless network and transfer videos, photos, contacts, etc. This makes it, you don't even have to sync it up with your USB cable anymore. I love Keys Air. This is a great application. The Music Hub is, again, there are 4 hubs on the device, just like in the Galaxy S2. This is powered by 7 Digital. We also have a Reading Hub, which is powered by Press Display for news. There's Kobo for books and Zinio for magazines, just like in the Galaxy S2. And everything else is pretty much the same. So we're looking at the same hardware, just updated. Thankfully, Google Talk does support video chat, and obviously with the 2 megapixel camera you'll get some really great results out of there. And we will do a full review when we have used the phone for a bit longer. This has just been a relatively quick 20-minute look at the upcoming Samsung Galaxy S2 X for Telus. Oh, and by the way, this is quad band, and that means that if you unlock the device, this will support AWS SIM cards in 3G. So your non-incumbent, your new entrant providers, you can use their SIM cards if it is unlocked on 3G, which is pretty exciting because this means that it's the first widely released and powerful quad-band HSPA Plus device released in Canada. So this has been Daniel for Mobile Syrup, and thank you so much for watching.
Just give me the countdown. Know when we go in.
Tricks is yours for the taking, man.
Feels so good.